Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all doing well and I hope you're all staying safe as usual. Today is finally the day, which is the premiere of the Chaos and Chill Cast Season 2, and I am honored to be joined by RingtaleFerret, and she is a variety streamer who has recently gotten into Dead Cells and is already on 2BC, so she's been playing really well. I've been able to catch her stream and be able to see her progress, and that's been amazing to watch. She does a lot of different things, and one of the things that's caught my attention is her community involvement, especially when it comes to doing like the Jackbox games and things like that. And she's also really involved in local charities, and she has a drive of her own, which just ended. So she talks a little bit about that in the episode as well. So thank you to RingtaleFerret in advance. This was a lot of fun. I had so much fun doing this episode, and I can't wait to have you back on again. I do want to note that I do typically have videos in these Chaos and Chill Cast episodes, but unfortunately, I actually lost the video files when I was cleaning up my hard drive just so I could save some space. So unfortunately, no video, but there is audio. It's going to be taking place over a multiple Noxbow and Barnacle run, as requested per RingtaleFerret, because those are her two favorite weapon and skills in the game. So if you like this episode and want to see more stuff like this and other Dead Cells and mental health related content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell for notifications. Be sure to follow and subscribe to RingtaleFerret. I will leave a graphic during the episode as well as a link in the description. And without further ado, Chaos and Chill, Season 2. What is going on, everybody? We have got Chaos and Chill here, in which we have a little bit of chaos and a little bit of chilling. Today, I am joined, the woman, the myth, the legend, RingtaleFerret. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello, beautiful people.
So,
how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We were asking the same question at the same time. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. Staying busy. How about yourself?
Just chilling. I think we were talking about this earlier. I put out my 2K special, the ADHD vid. So I was pretty happy with it. I get pretty nervous when I put out non-Dead Cells related content because while it is related to what I do for a living, it's always just like stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit, right?
Yeah, stepping out of your comfort zone always makes you a little nervous.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So why don't we get started by telling us who you are and what you do?
I am RingtaleFerret. I'm a variety streamer. I do VTubing as well with my avatar. Typically on Thursdays, sometimes on Tuesdays, kind of flips it however I'm feeling. Or if I'm getting like really anxious or don't feel like being on camera, I use the avatar. But yeah, I do retro. I do Dead Cells too. I just started on that recently, maybe a month or two ago, when I'm on 2BC. I've gotten really close to 3BC. Damn the Hand of the King. But yeah, that's pretty much me. I do a lot of different variety games.
So I think I got onto your channel because you were, I think, in Hyper's chat all the time. And so found out that you streamed. So I went over to your stream, and then I was like, man, she doesn't play anything that I like.
No.
Then I saw you playing Dead Cells one day. I'm super picky with games. I saw you playing Dead Cells one day. I was like, oh, cool. Like, now we can all go, like, spam her and shit like that.
Yeah, I finally took the plunge because I didn't think I'd like Dead Cells, which is kind of funny. I end up really loving it. It's one of my favorite games.
So what made you join a community for a game that you weren't even playing?
I mean, I've seen Hyper play it and Brew, and I think I've seen Luthemir play it a couple times too, and I finally took the plunge and did it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's like this is gonna sound weird. It's like an out-of-body experience because I never played any type of game like Dead Cells. I played Celeste on the Switch, but nothing like Dead Cells, like straight up just roguelike, you die and then you start from the beginning. I hated that stuff when I was a kid for like the NES and stuff. I hated those types of games, but Dead Cells, there was something about it that just kept me playing, even though I didn't get my first 0BC win. This is 1.0 we're talking. It was over 2 years ago. I didn't get my first 0BC win until I was like maybe 50 runs in.
Damn. I don't know how many runs I was in when I got it, but yeah, I just pretty much took off like a speed demon for 0BC and then quickly learned in 2BC that's not possible, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning curves associated with the game. Like, for example, like when you hit 1BC, like you learn that knife throws are a thing, and then you learn about invisible enemies. You learn that you can parry multiple times in a row. Like, I love the difficulty progression in the game.
Yeah, it definitely, Yeah, 2BC has been my hitting point in difficulty, but I think I would came in a little bit more prepared than a lot of people because I was watching King and learned how to parry and about the scrolls. So I knew all about that before going into.
Exactly. And it's like I always, I've been off IBC for we're approaching about 2 years since the Rise of the Giant, so about 2 years since then, and I learn stuff all the time watching people, and like you're on 2BC. I learn stuff watching you. Like it's just you're never done learning watching other people do things, and it's like you get new ideas from people too. Like that's one of the really cool things about our community. Like everyone approaches this game so differently.
Yeah, I like that aspect. And if I find something that I've learned from somebody, I typically will go and clip it and save it for later too.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing I wanted to ask you about was that you're doing a little charity drive on your stream. So could you go into detail about that a little bit?
Yeah, the charity stream I was doing, which ended last night, it's called Fox Valley United Way, and it's for underprivileged families that can't really afford gifts for their family, can barely make, money for their own necessities, gas bills, things like that. So basically what we do, it's basically called adopting a family. So we take it upon ourselves to go and buy the gifts for the kids. And we can get stuff for the parents to give them things they need: blankets, clothes, shoes, coats for the winter, boots for the winter. And then, if we have any leftover, the gifts that we can get for the kids too.
It sounds like a really good cause, and thank you for doing that. There's a lot of really good charity stuff around this time of year, but it's not nearly enough. As I'm cramping in my fucking ribs. You're gonna see me disappear off camera for a second. Okay, we're back. No, I hate it. You ever just get like random cramps and shit?
Yes.
Oh,
it's because we're getting old.
Oh God, I'm approaching 30, dude. I'm 28, man. I feel like I'm 50 right now. It's bad, and I work from home too, so it's even worse. I'm sitting in this chair all day long.
Oh no.
I might be going back to the office this week. Well, not even back, because I took my job in COVID and I started working home like day 2. I have not stepped foot inside the office, so I barely even know where it is. So it's like such a weird experience.
Yeah, when COVID first hit back in March, when it was more announced and people were, more scared of it, I ended up taking medical leave because I have severe asthma. So I was off until June since they had me take my vacation time. And then I had to go back because, of course, I have to pay bills and stuff like that. So that's always fun.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So did you start streaming like when COVID started or before?
I did. Yeah, I started streaming. Okay, so I know my account says it goes back a couple years, but I used to just throw it on when my guildmates and I wanted to do Jackbox. So that's where the whole Jackbox thing started. And I would just stream just so they can watch at the time and we'd play together. But it wasn't until COVID, when I was wanting to socialize and couldn't, that I started streaming so I could actually socialize with people. And that's the whole reason I started.
So, I mean, and you don't have to answer this if you don't feel comfortable, but, one of the discussions that is really fascinating is something like COVID, where we've never experienced anything like this. And, if you have experienced a pandemic, you're probably 100 years old and will probably be unable to participate in this podcast for a variety of reasons. But one of the things that has really become fascinating is the mental health surrounding something like COVID. Especially when we talk about like anxiety and then like not being able to do the things that you're normally able to do. So, maybe certain coping skills that you have, as in like going out and doing stuff with your friends, you weren't able to do it. So I wonder if you streaming and gaining the community that you have was part of you maybe subconsciously trying to cope.
Yeah, I mean, it most likely is, because I used to, I would go out with friends, especially one of my close friends back when I lived in California. I moved to Chicago back in October. So her and I would always go out, hang out, and, we'd talk and relax and shoot shit. But yeah, this was something, because I like to interact with people. I like to be social. And my job would have me do that. So I would see people on a regular basis, and I was pretty much at home, not seeing anybody for a long time. So the social aspect did get to me, not having anyone around to talk to.
And that's tough. Like I definitely feel for you in that respect, because it's hard when, like I say, you're just so used to doing things a certain way.
Yeah.
Even if you're introverted, like I don't like going out. I don't like doing shit. But serious, like I don't like doing anything. But even then, it was like the flexibility. I think that's really what it comes down to, is like you weren't able to be as flexible as you could have been.
Yeah.
And even like, what's a good example of this? Like something that I used to do with my friends back home. By the way, I'm also from California. We'll talk about that in a second. Something I used to go out with them all the time. I haven't been able to go back to California. I took my winter break for school when I was in school back in December. And so I have not been back to California since. So it's going to be a year since I've been with my family, with my friends and those people. And like, you have close bonds with them, and it's not like they get severed or anything, but you kind of tend to not talk to them as much, and you kind of grow apart a little bit because of the fact that, you're not fucking there.
Yeah. And I mean, communicating by phone and computer and internet and all that, I mean, it's easy to say, but it's in practice, it's not easy really, because you forget about it, you lose track of time, they don't know the computer well enough. It's just a whole slew of things.
Yeah, like I'm super close with two of my friends back home, and I was on Zoom with them just to catch up, and I say like they're two of my closest friends, and I hadn't seen their faces even on like Zoom in like 2 to 3 months, and one of them I hadn't even talked to like extensively for like 6 months. So it's a weird phenomenon, and I don't know how we're going to recover from this, like after it's all over, like what's going to change and what's going to stay the same and stuff like that. Like even me going to work is going to be weird.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to get used to the social aspect of it again, but I'm hoping in a way that we do learn, if we're not feeling well, maybe to just wear a mask to protect other people too, even if it's not just COVID, just if you have like a cold or something. It's good practice.
It is. It's just like washing your hands. Like I don't know why people throw such a hissy fit about it. It's literally just like, you wash your hands, you cover your mouth when you cough. Like it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, I mean, wearing a mask, sometimes your breathing gets impaired, but you just pull on your mask, you breathe, put it back on.
Yeah. When I went back to work, we wore a mask while we were working. We didn't allow people in the building, and we'd work about 10 to 12 hours at a time. So I had a mask on for at least 10 hours a day with asthma. So I always feel a little weird when people complain about it, because I had to do it like multiple days.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just people making excuses at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I know you talked a little bit about what got you into streaming. So the whole variety streamer thing is really interesting to me, because a lot of the people that I follow are like, they will only play Dead Cells or like similar roguelikes. How do you deal with the certain audiences kind of coming in and out, just depending on your game? Like how do you kind of navigate that?
It is kind of, a little depressing sometimes when you don't have a whole lot of viewers, but I mean, I'm doing this more or less to just have fun and play the games I want to play, and that's how I have to keep going with it. Because if I stick with one game and say I get bored with it and then the whole audience drops off, that's a thing too. So I just do what I want and have fun and hang out with people who want to come in.
It's pretty cool. Like I think I got started doing your Jackbox thing too, because I was just like randomly like, I want to play. I'm doing nothing on a Saturday night. And stuff like that's really cool. Like just like that interaction piece that you have with your viewers. It's not just like you have a community of people who follow you. It's like you have a community of friends that you're kind of building a network. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. It's pretty much what I wanted to start out and do. And Jackbox and the community night on Saturday was something I started out with and just continued with, because that's what I wanted to do. Saturdays were always a hang out with friends and party night. So that's what I traditionally wanted to keep it with.
Exactly. And I don't know, I find stuff like that really cool. And different streamers have their different things going on. And do you get more viewers with Dead Cells, or is it kind of consistent throughout?
It can be consistent depending on what I'm playing. But Dead Cells I do seem to get a lot of attraction with lately.
what's your opinion on backseating? Because you are on 2BC. So what is your opinion on backseating with a bunch of 5BC players who are too cocky for their own good?
I'm fine with backseating with Dead Cells. It depends on the game. Typically, I'm fine with it though. If you want to give me a little bit of advice, I'm usually okay. But I'll make a little notification if I don't want it during a stream.
It's like setting those boundaries, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of the boundaries that you've had to set, especially like because you're building this community of friends and this network? What are some of the boundaries that you've had to set being a streamer?
Being a streamer, and especially being a female, there are things that I had to quickly learn. One of them was trolls will come after you very quickly in Jackbox and just chatting. So when I have those up, I have a moderator pretty much on point to make sure that people are, being civil, and that there aren't trolls coming in. And I have specific rules laid out in our mod channel for my mods to follow and what to look out for. It's unfortunate, and I would really love to have like just the audience play, but I've had too many times where I've had to like kill the game itself and just restart because people were trolling. So
I'm sorry, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that most female streamers have to go through, and it's unfortunate, but it's a reality for us.
And that's something that's, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate reality, but it's still, something that, I think everyone should be trying to change. If you're not one of those people, you should actively be looking out for it. And then at the end of the day, we're all a community. We all got to advocate for each other, right?
Right.
So being a woman identified streamer, what are some of the other difficulties that you've had in either your brand or putting content out there?
Difficulties I've had. It's mostly been with just trolls, really. I haven't had too much difficulty otherwise. I was fortunate enough to be a part of Bruce Green's community. I don't know if you know who that is, but he used to be a part of Funhouse. And he helped me get off the ground. He rated me with, I think it was almost 400 people, and I got my 50 followers that night and got affiliate. And then I had some of his community come over and watch, and then grew from there.
That's great. 400 people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was nice enough to raid me that night. I didn't know what to think of it. I was pretty, yeah. Oh, luckily I wasn't on camera at that point. I didn't have a camera yet, so.
Dude, like when I stream, like I don't really stream anymore. Like I was doing it for like a hot 3 weeks, and everyone just thought, oh, he's doing Twitch now. And then I was just like, no, it's too much fucking work.
It can be kind of stressful. I do get nervous some nights right before I stream. I've never been an entertainer. I've always been kind of a relaxed person who, helps friends and hangs out. And I've always been nervous in the spotlight. So this was a completely new experience for me.
What has streaming done to allow you to grow as a person?
I've gained more confidence, I'll be honest in that, because I was always not self-doubting, but second-guessing a lot of what I was doing. And I do catch myself sometimes when I'm streaming, I'll say something or I'll do something and be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I could have pronounced it this way or done this instead. It's a lot of learning and growing.
I'm still nervous about being on camera. It's, well, especially when it's my face, because it's most of the time it's not. And it's like, I had a comment today. There's a couple comments actually. Because you're seeing what I look like for the first time, right?
No, I've seen you do the interview with Hyper and
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so some of the comments I got on my ADHD video. And it's not to make fun of anybody, but it's just more of like, it's just kind of a funny thing that I saw. I was expecting you to look way different.
Oh no.
Judging by your voice, I thought you were 17 to 20 years old.
It's okay. People think I'm like 19.
I'm not going to ask how old you are because we're both getting old. I'm going to assume that you're also getting old like me.
Yeah. I'll say I'm older than you.
Fair enough. Okay. If I were to throw a guess, I would have thought you were like probably my age, mid-20s, somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's what most people guess, but I've had a couple times where people ask me if I was 19, 20. I get that from my mom. She's older than she's younger, or she's older than what she looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
my brain needs to process things for a second. At least you know, at least you get to pretend to be a little bit more youthful later on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get away with, dude. Like, I'm just trying to be like 40 and look like I am now, but man, we both know that's not gonna happen. I'm gonna have like wrinkles and shit.
Oh yeah, it'll hit you. Metabolism and all that'll kick in, and it'll be fun.
Fortunately for me, I'm already used to having a bad metabolism. I have not had a good metabolism my entire life.
Oh man, yeah, I weighed like 105 pounds up until I was 23, and my metabolism just hit me. And yeah, I mean, it happens. You get older, and that stuff will hit you.
What do you do for like your day job?
I was doing veterinary reception and assistant, but when I moved, I haven't found a job quite yet. COVID shut a lot of things down again in Illinois, so it's been kind of rough finding something. But I'm looking to get into either as a pet insurance rep, or maybe into a food representative that has veterinary specialty diets. I know a lot about those. So that could come in handy in doing that. Otherwise, I would go back to being an assistant or working at a shelter. That's what I want to do.
So sounds like you're just really passionate about the care of animals.
Yes, yeah. I've always been for a long time, and once things open up again, I honestly want to get into a shelter to volunteer and do YouTube videos on it, just to highlight animals that really need help, or shelters that could use a little bit of help too.
Sorry, you're a little bit loud, so I was just trying to lower my speakers. That's awesome. Like, definitely need more people like you in the world, because there's just so much that animals can help provide, you know, for us, and in the general sense of just like that emotional support. So being able to take care of them and given our bonds to animals, like they're a part of our families, right?
Right, yeah.
And that's awesome.
Emotional support animals exist for a reason too.
There was one really cool video I saw. It was like about emotional support gator. Like,
oh, interesting.
And it was in Florida, because of course it was in Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
I mean, this guy suffered from severely, pretty crippling depression, and he met this gator, and I guess they bonded instantly, and so he applied to have it classified as an emotional support animal, and then they made a viral video out of it. So that was interesting. I think it was
interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that. That's really neat.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you just search emotionally support gator or something like that on YouTube, it'll be there.
That's a fun story. I'll definitely have to look into that.
So do you have ferrets?
I don't. They were illegal in California, so I could not have them. I do plan eventually, if not next year, the year after that, to get at least 2 or 3.
Where were you in California?
I was pretty close to LA. I don't know if you've heard of the town Oxnard.
Yeah, of course. That's where one of my really good friends was born.
Yeah, that's where I was, and that's I surfed out of La Conchita for a while. Gotcha. That's what my surfboard's right behind me there.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah, you definitely give off a surfer vibe to me.
Oh, thanks. It was actually I started surfing, I think it was a year ago. Not this last September, but the September before that was when I first tried it. And I never thought I would ever try it in my life. So I took the surfboard with me as a symbol of you could do anything if you put your mind to it.
There you go. Probably a confidence booster as well, right?
Yeah. I loved it.
What is your advice to people who are starting out on surfboarding? I'm totally not talking about myself here.
On surfboarding. I got lucky enough that one of my coworkers, her fiance was a surfing teacher. So get someone that knows what they're doing and to help you, for sure, because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Get a foam longboard to start out with. That's what I would advise, because that's what I started off with, and that's a lot easier in the long run.
There you have it, folks. Advice 101 from RingtaleFerret. If you want to learn how to surf, if you live near the beach, get your ass a longboard and get someone who knows what they're doing. Don't just
don't go out alone, because then if something happens, you're really screwed. You don't want to do that.
You up.
Yeah, those waves are no joke sometimes.
Dude,
And know your limits too when you're surfing, because I've hit waves that were like almost 7, 8 foot, and I had to get out because it was too much.
that don't scare you?
Oh yeah, it did. That's why I went out. I had to leave.
I can't, dude. I can barely swim as it is. Like, I just like kind of paddle my way in the, like, when I have to go swimming, I'll just sit in the shallow end and just kind of paddle my way. But dude, I can't imagine just like staying on a board and trying to balance yourself. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. Like, in a good way.
Yeah, it definitely helped me lose some weight too, because I was 200 pounds. I'm like at 175 now. I'm still working on it, but getting there.
And I've been trying to lose weight forever, but food is like my number one thing. I exercise a lot, but my food intake will always be a problem.
Yeah, I love ice cream. It's like my number one thing. I need to like get out of it.
All right, real quick, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough's good. I like cookie dough. If you said some shit like sherbet or something, I would have just ended the ball right there.
Sherbet. No, that's not an ice cream. What are you talking about? It's flavored water.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. There's I don't know if it exists outside of Ohio. It probably does. It's called Graders.
I've never heard of it.
Graders is amazing. They make really fairly expensive but really, really good ice cream. And I used to live next to a Graders. So I used to live in a place called Clifton, which is a neighborhood in Cincinnati. I used to live in Clifton, and there was a Graders and a Dewey's Pizza. Shout out to anyone who lives in Ohio. Dewey's and Graders. I lived right next to them. I lived in the Gaslight District, and it took so much restraint to only go to Graders once every week or every 2 weeks. Otherwise, I would have gone there every fucking day.
Yeah, there's I'll have to check that out if I'm ever in that area. There's an ice cream place here called Oberweis that I worked at when I was 16 to like 20-ish, I think. But yeah, we would quote unquote make mistakes and take home some ice cream all the time. So bad for you, but I loved it.
So I'm gonna address the elephant in the room right now, which nobody knows about except for me. And you have no idea what I'm gonna ask. So it's not really an elephant. It's more of like, I don't know. So you were making a road trip out when you were moving from California to Chicago, right?
Right.
And so you visited my boy, King DKC, which follow
I did, yep.
twitch.tv/KingDKC, the Perry God. You mentioned him earlier. Do you have any interesting King DKC stories for us? And that I can make fun of him for it later.
Any interesting stories? Trying to think. Us heading to Jay Bean's house and playing DDR and Stepmania, that was tons of fun. Man, I would love to do that again. As for funny stories, I wasn't expecting him to have his TV hooked up to Twitch. That was a fun thing to watch. Watch him. I think he was watching Loot or Die. I just see this huge screen with him on it.
Does he really have his TV hooked up to Twitch?
He does, yeah.
What? That's crazy. He has this whole. Is this setup as crazy as I think it is?
Well, he changed it. So his old setup was in that one room, and then he had his lizard in there, which was really cool. But he did move things around, so it's a lot different now than what I could tell you it was.
By the way, speaking of pets, I've been trying to adopt a cat, but I don't trust myself with taking care of animals because I can barely take care of myself as it is. So what advice do you have for first-time pet owners?
For first-time pet owner, I would recommend researching, if you're just going to get a general cat, research into a cat itself. Look up what you need before you get the pet. Make sure you have everything you need. And then I would talk to the shelter people, explain how many hours a day you are at home versus what you're looking for. And they can usually set you up with an animal that would be right for you.
See, I gotta do my research and stuff. I subscribe to Helpful Vancouver Vet on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
He's the Squish That Cat guy, for those who don't know. He's the Bob Ross of cats. Very wholesome channel. I watch all of his videos, and I don't even have a cat. But yes, I will. The only pets that I will ever own are either cats or bearded dragons. No dogs. I don't like dogs that much.
Bearded dragons are a lot of fun too. They're probably one of the most mellow lizards you could get, to be quite honest.
And they're cute.
They are cute.
I just like how they just kind of, they just chill. They live the
Yeah.
life that I want.
They
just-
chill. They can get kind of big though. You can see this tiny little thing. Just keep in mind, you'll have to get a bigger enclosure for them eventually.
Probably. So is it safe to keep them outside, or you just gotta keep them inside the cage, huh? Or
Bearded
that-
dragons, you can bring them out. Just keep in mind, if it's cold outside, you can't keep them out for too long because they need that heat.
Yeah, well, Ohio's probably the worst place to have a bearded dragon.
You can't take it out for too long. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk a little Dead Cells. Have you
Sure.
looked at the patch notes?
I have not. I haven't had a whole lot of a chance to take a look at them yet. But typically, what I do for patch notes too is I just go in, experience, and then look at it, see if I can figure out what has changed myself. I always
Yeah.
find that fun.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a little guessing game.
Yeah.
You're not gonna know what the hell's going on then with this new patch.
Nope.
Well, I can't spoil it for you, so let's talk 2.0, where you're currently at. What has been, well, first of all, what have you liked about the game, and what's something that you feel like you've been struggling with?
The one thing I've definitely been struggling with is, I would say, controller to actually getting the character to move quick enough, because I know I can sometimes turn around and I want to parry, and then it'll do it like a split second after I wanted it to.
So it's
If
more
that
like
makes sense.
yeah. Sorry, I have a thing where it's part of my ADHD. It's like we interrupt and then we don't know when someone's done talking. I'm very bad about that.
It's okay.
But I had that same problem sometimes. It's just like you have in your mind what you want to do, but then you're not able to execute it sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, sometimes too I get into this mode where I just want to bull rush it and run through and look like this crazy cool ninja, and then I like get killed.
There's a reason that I prefer YouTube over Twitch, and I do show some of my failed runs on YouTube, but I die far more often than my runs may indicate. Like I have about, I want to say, a 60% win rate, right?
It's not bad.
It's pretty, yeah, and I think that's a pretty good mark. I mean, someone like King DKC has like 90. You know, Crowblins I think has a pretty high rate, high win rate too. But like there'll be because the way I play is just like, just fuck it, just go and then just do everything at once, and I'll just bull rush a mob and figure it out later. And that's what's fun for me. So this new update actually very much works with my play style, but a lot of people it doesn't.
Yeah, I learned in 2BC to slow down and just try and use the one thing I in 0 and 1BC is I didn't use the skills as often. And that's what I'm learning in 2BC, to keep in mind I have those, I can use those.
One of the biggest like aha moments that you get in this game is like when you start learning like what items synergize really well with each other. Like, you know, for example, like, you know how turrets can give you like that toxic cloud around the trap?
Yeah.
Sometimes like that's literally all you need in order to be able to get a win, because maybe your weapon has 80% to poison or something like that, or maybe you have a Cascade to Stiletto, and it's like, that's like, once you start like figuring things out, like that's when just the game just becomes like a million times more manageable.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I never really even stopped to think about that, where if you have a weapon that has 80% plus damage to poison and you have like a crappy skill that does poison, that makes more sense.
Sometimes I'll take like, what's an example of a skill that's not so great? Like something like a sinew slicer, which, you know, compared to like the Tesla coil is not good.
Yeah.
But like if that sinew slicer is giving me like bleeding causes poisoning, or if it gives me like that toxic cloud, I might take it if I have something that gives me 80% to poison, because I'm just like, look, like short cooldown gives me the synergy that I need, at least temporarily. If I pick up something better later on, I'll pick it up. But for now, like I'll just take this, and then that'll help me out for a little bit. And it's just like, I like it's like solving a puzzle. essentially, into like
Yeah.
what you're trying to do.
Yeah, you're trying to get all the pieces to fit together.
So,
And that goes in with the scrolls too.
huh?
I said that fits in with the scrolls too.
What do you mean?
Like say you don't want to pick up survival if you're doing tactics. Like a survival skill.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know, a lot of people that I follow like will do like off-color stuff, like ice armor and stuff like that. But for me, I I don't like doing that. I like, you know, when you look at the end screen, you pause the game like and you see all purple stuff. I don't want to see a random green thing in there.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
He doesn't look nice.
It's so funny. I feel the same way.
Me and you are probably like the only people that actually feel this way, and like probably half of my viewers right now are just like, what the fuck is he talking about? What are they talking about right now? Like King was talking to me about like, oh, wave of denial, like you can take it on any stat that you want and it's so good. And I'm just like, dude, but I'm not like, unless it's colorless, I'm not gonna take it on green.
Yeah, I feel that. Because you don't get the upgrades and stuff for it really either.
Oh yeah, exactly. You're stuck with it.
Yeah.
What are some of the favorite weapons and skills and items in general that you have?
I typically go tactics currently. I did start off and do brutality through 0 and 1 BC for the most part. And then towards the end of 1 BC, I did tactics. And I've stuck with tactics since. But I do like, for the end game, the barrel launcher. I finished 1 BC with it, and that's how I beat it the first time. What else? I like the bows, the tactic bows. I'm trying to remember. The multi-shot one, I think, is the one I like.
Is it multiple knocks?
Yes. And it shoots the 3 arrows at once.
Yeah, that one's so good.
And I love that one. And then I typically go shields. And then I do I think it's called the force shield. It's the tactical shield where you can't hold it up, but you can parry.
Oh, the parry. Yeah. The parry shield. Yeah. And it like if you parry like a projectile, it shoots like a bunch of them.
Yeah. For the skills, I like the barnacle, the turret. I forget what, something turret. I can't remember what exactly it's called.
There's flame turret. There's heavy turret. I think those are the only two that actually have turret in the name.
Yeah, it shoots arrows.
Double crossbow.
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
I'll take that one, the barnacle, and I'll start off if I can with the owl, because I know later on I'm gonna get hit, so I'm not gonna take it in the later parts because it makes no sense.
Although, if you get an owl with poison, that's when shit gets like fucking crazy. Have you ever gotten that, like an owl that does poison damage?
I haven't yet, no.
If you get it, it basically is a win condition.
I'll stick with it then, if I get it next time.
I had an owl, this is the first time I ever saw this yet, a few days ago. I got an owl with shots to leave a trail of flames. It didn't work.
Oh, no.
Because I was in graveyard, and I couldn't see the trail of flames that was coming. It just wasn't there.
I had the barnacle with shots of the trail of flames, and that worked out really well.
Barnacle is so underrated in my opinion.
I love it.
Like it deals with giant and conjunctivias like so like just perfectly.
Yeah, and it floats in the air if you don't have something for it to stick to.
I wonder if there's like a SpongeBob build out there. Because obviously you gotta take the barnacle. But what else?
Yeah.
What else would you take?
The shovel, maybe? I'm trying to think of what else.
Are there any water stuff in the game? No, right?
There's the freezing stuff, but I don't think water itself, no.
I'd have to think about it. I'd have to do my research and think about this. They need to add water in this game so I can do a SpongeBob build already.
That's why I said shovel. That's the only thing I can think of, like a shovel and bucket.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Well, okay, so the episode of SpongeBob where they dig Squidward a grave, they used a shovel for that.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, shovel, barnacle. Neither of those have any stats that are in common.
Nope. What shield could you use, if any?
Well, Neptune is in SpongeBob, so maybe.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe the Thunder Shield.
Yeah, Thunder Shield. This is going to be a mismatched color coordination scheme here.
Or just go into colorless mode in custom mode.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Have you ever?
I've never done that before. No.
Wow.
I haven't done any mods or anything yet. I wanted to hit 5BC before I went and did mods.
I'm not a big fan of mods in general. So, I mean, you know, Hyper, I'll promote Hyper's mods and stuff like that because he puts a lot of work into them. But at the end of the day, like, for me, I just like the base game as it is because, like, something subtle, right? And me and Hyper were talking about this on our podcast. With his randomizer, it's just like, well, it's random enemies coming in, right?
Right.
And it makes you appreciate how much care the devs put into what enemies go into what level. And it's so subtle, but you don't appreciate it until you play randomizer.
Yeah, I've watched him play the randomizer, and it would be absolutely nuts not to. You never know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. Like, for example, like the Slammer, the big birds.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want them anywhere in prison, in prisoner quarters.
Yeah.
But they're in the levels that they're in. I don't even want them in that. What's that one? The one that's after toxic sewers. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Is it ancient sewers? Not ancient sewers.
No, the one in between.
Oh man.
Corrupted prison. There it is. Yeah, corrupted prison. You've been to corrupted prison, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been there maybe once or twice.
Gotcha. So you're still kind of learning the game a little bit.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't take offense to it, but you're the first 2BC player I've had on here, so that's why I'm also really excited.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to 5BC yet. I'm getting there.
You'll get there by like next week.
Next week? Well, you're optimistic.
That's your deadline. If you don't get there by next week, I'm gonna unsub from you.
No.
I always threaten people like that whenever I see them playing. I'm like, if you don't get this win, I'm fucking unsubbing from you right now.
It's a good threat to get them motivated.
Pretty much, right? No, I will not unsub for RingtaleFerret. I am joking. People who don't understand the sarcasm, which has happened. Sometimes people don't get my sarcasm. So, what is something that you would like to see added to Dead Cells, as far as like just the game?
I would say more female costumes because there's only the 2 bosses, right?
Kanji.
I think there's Kanji and Timekeeper.
Mama Tick.
Oh, Mama Tick, that's right.
I don't think any of them are like geared towards being women's costumes, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's still fun.
No, I know. Yeah. No, that's fair. I think the Timekeeper costume. Does she have costume? She does, right? She's got to.
Yeah, she's got it.
See, I don't pay attention to costumes that much, except for the snowman, because that one, well, you're gonna play the alpha at some point. Plays the snowman. It's great. It's wonderful.
Plays the snowman. I'll have to check that out.
It's literally a snowman.
They should do more stuff like that where you could customize the character itself.
I had this idea, right? So, do you have the magic missiles unlocked?
Not yet, no.
You know,
I would love to.
Okay, but, so you know what they are.
Yeah.
My idea was to color code the magic missiles and be able to customize the color of all of your weapons.
Ooh.
Like, instead of shovel being gray, you could make it fucking neon colored.
That'd be fun. Yeah, color your weapons. Or even put like an icon on it or something on the shovel handle.
Ooh, that would be nice. Like, and then you could like upload your image like they do in the 2K games. You could upload whatever image, and so you could have like a RingtaleFerret branded weapon.
Yeah, there you go. I like that idea.
Ooh, you got to tell them. You got to hit them up on What do they check most? You gotta hit them up on Discord. Just be like, yo, give me a RingtaleFerret weapon.
Cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
You're not gonna do it.
No, it'd still be fun.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like just to like, I will die on that hill though. I want to be able to change the colors of things. Excuse me. I just want to be able to change the colors of things and all that.
I think it'd be fun to change the character model itself. Make your own little character model run through.
Oh, like you create a character?
Yeah.
And that would be cool because it would allow for you to be able to create a female beheaded.
Yeah.
In my case, I'm just going to play as the snowman forever, so. I hope that they get the license to use SpongeBob in their game from Nintendo. Or not Nintendo, Nickelodeon. And I can play as SpongeBob from now on. That would be dope.
That'd be really cool. Or even if they got like license from Nintendo, could even do like an Invader Zim run. I mean, he's green.
Have you ever played Skull the Hero Slayer?
I have not, no.
So it's like one of my favorite games in the world right now. Similar to Dead Cells in a lot of aspects, except for the fact that it's a lot cuter and a lot shorter. And the prisoner is actually in that game.
Oh, neat.
So his regular attack is like the rusty sword, and then every time you hit an enemy, like cells will drop and stuff, and then the cells like improve certain things with you, and then he has certain skills. So like every skull has like a basic attack and like 1 or 2 skills. Prisoner has 5 skills that can fit in those two skill slots. He has a broadsword, phaser, ice crossbow, assault shield, and powerful grenade, and it's just like. Broadsword is just the most fucking OP thing ever.
You'll have to link that to me. I would love to check it out.
I have a couple runs up on my channel, and it says Skull the Hero Slayer like in the title, so you should be able to check that out.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
Are you going to start a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel actually, under the same name. I will be doing more with it. I just need to figure out what exactly I want to do with it first. Like I said, I want to do the shelter stuff and some veterinary stuff with it, but I gotta wait for COVID to, not be as horrible and open up things.
Like be more of a educational type of channel?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what YouTube would be.
That would be awesome, dude. Like I would sub to that instantly because there's never enough proper education on YouTube. There's so much like BS out there, and it's like not enough proper just like this is what you need to do type of things.
Yeah, and even like get perspective on the veterinary fields, because there's a lot of things that are simple for us to know, but most people don't know. Like lilies are toxic to cats. A lot of people don't know that, but it's something that, yes, lilies are very toxic to cats.
Oh, see, I'm learning something today.
Yeah, and it's something in a veterinary field anyone will know, but most people don't know it.
Dude, that's crazy. I never would have guessed. That's why it's all the more important. That's why I'm hyped up for your channel when COVID goes away.
Oh man, I'm excited too. I can't wait because I have a couple of shelters around here that are willing to do it when things aren't as crazy, and some previous vets I worked for are down to for interviews and stuff. Can't wait.
There we go. So we are getting to be around that time. So a couple questions for you. First,
sure.
Where do you envision yourself going as like a content creator, maybe as a person?
As a content creator, I'll still be doing community nights and interacting with people and playing games that I want to play. But maybe I'll figure out how to do live streaming at shelters and stuff once I figure all of that out, and we can do like an adoption or something. I that's what I want to do, but figuring it out in the long term and waiting for things to reopen is pretty much at this point what I'm waiting for.
Nice, and you can probably use this entire time just to plan it out, probably.
Yeah.
There you go.
Working on it slowly by slowly.
Incremental progress is still progress, right?
Yep. I'm still seeing if OBS can work on the phone I currently have because I only have an iPhone 7.
And it hasn't shut down yet?
No.
Oh shit. Apple does that sometimes. There was a software issue with the iPhone 7 where like some of the mics went out and mine got affected by it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and they wouldn't refund me because we were on iPhone 10 now, and Apple was like, no.
Oh, no, that's not good. Yeah, I bought the phone straight out. I think it was last year. It was refurbished and everything. And then Sprint gave me a deal where I'd only have to pay $45 a month for my bill for unlimited text, talk, data if I bought the phone out. So I did. And I've been on that plan ever since.
Convenient. That's good. Good for you.
Yeah. I'm going to stay on it as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, it's shit. This stuff is so expensive, dude. I swear. Like, I'm lucky to be on my, like, I was paying my own AT&T bill like 100 something bucks a month because AT&T is really fucking expensive. But my parents put me on their plan and I switched to T-Mobile, and you know, my dad said he would cover that, and that's only like 15 extra bucks for him a month. So he was like, yeah, it's not a big deal. It's whatever. But I don't want to give him the 15 bucks, but still, I mean, shit's expensive, dude. I swear.
It is so expensive. That's why I went with that. It was the best choice I had.
If you could, now I'm gonna put you on the spot here. If you could send a message to your viewers, to our viewers right now, what would it be?
That, you know, we wouldn't be here without them. It's all about you guys and wanting to continue to support. I mean, I didn't think I would last as long through COVID as I did doing streaming, and I just did it as something to communicate with people, hang out, and it's grown into what you guys want it to be. I'll continue doing it as long as you continue wanting me to do it.
Well said, and I completely agree. I created my channel a little over a year ago, but it really took off when COVID started. And you know, I talked a little bit about this in my last Dead Cells run, but it's just amazing, like just all the new people that you meet and just doing this. Like, you know, I know Draconis Elton, I know you're watching this, dude, so shout out to you. And he's hit me up on Instagram, and so me and him talk a lot, and just being able to have a community of people who appreciate and like you as a person, like that stuff like that's cool. And even getting to do this and like meeting people like you and stuff, like that's also really cool. Like it's just like, I don't know, it's a cool fucking experience that not a lot of people get to say that they do.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I would be here, or even, you know, meeting Hyper or hanging out with Tyrandian and playing WoW with her. It's a really weird but amazing experience. And it's funny too, because it all started right before COVID hit. I met, I don't know if you know, DFG or RingtaleFerret guy. So he raided Luthimir once, so I followed Luthimir and would watch him, and Luthimir raided Hyper, and that's how I found Hyper. And then from there, it just spiraled onto everybody else.
Just went out of control from there.
Yep. And here we are today.
I think Tyrandian had the same thing. It was like, she doesn't play Dead Cells, but then she's just like, she's a part of the community.
Yep.
I've always found that really cool. Like, and I know like you weren't playing Dead Cells for a while, so it was like, I always thought it was cool, like how you guys weren't playing the game, but still were hanging out with us and stuff like that. And that's why I love this community. Like, it's just so open to everybody. There's very, very little gatekeeping, very little toxicity.
Yeah, we're very respectful, or at least most everybody is. Once in a while, you'll get the troll here and there, and that happens.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's a shitty experience, but I'm just glad for the most part, like, you know, we're just able to have fun and be ourselves. I mean, isn't that what everyone wants?
Yeah, that's the goal of life, I think, is just to be yourself, have fun, and then, you know, just hang out with people who are like-minded and just want a good time with a friend.
Absolutely. So last question I have for you, and I ask everyone this at the end of the podcast: what are you doing tonight for your self-care?
What am I doing tonight for my self-care? I am going to have dinner after this, and I'm going to just hang out, watch a movie for tonight. I did my laundry, I did chores, and it's time for me to just chill out. Sundays are my chill days. Laundry in the day and then hang out in the evening.
Well, you heard it here first. RingtaleFerret, you have been a fantastic guest. I am glad that we have gotten the chance to finally talk in person.
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And to all my lovely viewers out there, Have a great night, everybody, and stay safe out there.
Bye.